What's up everyone, it's Karthik with MoneyVest. In this video, we are going to be talking about Tesla, Palantir, NVDA, and SoFi. I'm going to be going over the technical analysis, the cost breakdown, as well as the fundamental breakdown in this video for these companies. As always, make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And definitely do take advantage of the additional 20% discount that we have on our MoneyVest community. So this right here is going to be the link down below. If you're interested in joining, there is an additional 20% discount, and you can pretty much get access to everything, including all the trade alerts, members only videos, and all the options portfolio updates, as well as the MoneyVest website access for just $19 a month. And this promotional offer does expire in a few days on February 1st. So take advantage of that while you're still interested. And of course, link's going to be down below while you still have the time. Now, my family's here in Dubai, so I was pretty much busy the entire day because I was traveling a lot. I was showing them Dubai and downtown Dubai, and we're staying at one of the best places. So this right here is where we're going to be staying over the next few days. And this right here is the amazing views. We got the nice sunset going over here. You've got the Burj Al Arab, so that's like a 7-star hotel right over there. And you've got the Burj Khalifa, of course, the tallest building in the world, and the entire skyline of Dubai. So it's absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, I'm finally reunited with my almost 1-year-old cutest little munchkin. That is my nephew. So this right here, little Habibi in Dubai. I'm having a fantastic time with him. So definitely spending a lot of high quality time with my family. So my mom's visiting, my brother, my sister-in-law, and of course my cute little nephew also is here. So I just wanted to share that, a little bit of an update, because I am going to be occupied over the next 4 or 5 days, but I'll try my best to be as active because the earnings season is getting started. We've got the Fed meeting next week, and of course we've got the inflation numbers also scheduled to come out for next Friday. So it's going to be a very important week for the markets. So coming over to the cost breakdown first, and a little bit more about these individual stocks. So of course we've got SoFi in 2 days. I will be doing a more separate, more dedicated video on SoFi tomorrow. So that is going to be coming out tomorrow when we are going to be talking about this company. I'll be breaking down the entire earnings expectations, revenue expectations, the probabilities, the expected options move in terms of the expected move in the stock price, and what is the options market telling us in terms of SoFi's price action post earnings. And then of course 4 days later we've got Tesla on the same day as the Federal Reserve meeting. So in 4 days they are also going to be reporting those numbers. And then of course we've got NVIDIA and Palantir later in the month, and of course next month as well. So NVIDIA is still in a dip. Actually, it is now going to be in a pullback, considering that it is down over 5% from its all-time highs. Still less than 10% from its all-time highs, but more than 5% is considered a pullback. So now we've got NVIDIA and Palantir in a pullback, Tesla in a correction, SoFi in a bear market. And this right here, of course, is the forward multiples for these companies. Tesla, Palantir still very expensive. NVIDIA and SoFi still a lot more reasonable on a relative basis. And support level and resistance levels are going to be unchanged from our previous videos for these for these 4 companies. Tesla is still struggling at 430, which I discussed. That's a huge resistance for this stock, which is not able to break out above this level. And Palantir is actually quite interesting. We talked about $82 as being a very strong resistance for Palantir. It got up to that level after the breakout, and the amount of sellers that stepped in for Palantir is crazy. We actually had a very long wick to the upside, and we had a lot of sellers stepping in to bring us back down, and there was a lot of selling pressure for Palantir in and around those levels. But nonetheless, a lot of these stocks have a very good cost profile. In other words, we've got majority of traders and investors now profitable in these shares, in these stocks, after being down anywhere from 20 to as much as 70-80% on these companies. The time has finally come that we've got majority of investors and traders now profitable and green in these stocks. That's actually very good to see. So for example, Tesla's average cost basis right now sits at 362, and that makes almost 60% of the traders investors currently profitable, with of course some very important levels to watch is going to be in the low 400s. You got 375 down to 320s, down to of course $200 for Tesla. But the good thing is 60% Almost 60% are profitable with $362 as the average cost basis. NVIDIA, we've got a much higher number. 84% of traders are currently profitable on NVIDIA, and we've got an average cost basis of $127 per share for NVIDIA as well. Now, if you go over to Palantir, it's slightly higher, 87%, and we've got an average cost basis of $68, which is actually quite crazy because the way Palantir has moved over the last couple of years is very, very rapidly. It's gone from trading at $6, $7, $8 per share to now sitting at well over $80 a share. So it's over 1,000% increase in Palantir, and how quickly that average cost is also ramped up. So there's been a lot of buyers stepping in towards the last run up of Palantir, and now they're sitting at $68 in cost basis. 87% are profitable, given that Palantir is very close to its all-time highs. It's like less than 7% away from its all-time highs. And now this number jumps even higher. And the crazy part is that SoFi is the one that's actually down the most among all four, 36% from its all-time highs. And look at the amount of people, traders and investors, that are currently profitable on SoFi. 93%, almost 94%. And the average cost basis, $15. $15. So this is very, very interesting to see that you've got a stock that's down over 6% from its all-time highs, only 6%, and that still makes 84% people profitable. In other words, the other 15 to 16% are underwater, despite NVIDIA only being down 6% from its all-time highs. And a stock that's down over 36% still only has 6 to 7% of people that are underwater right now. So what does that tell us? Well, that tells us that people dollar cost averaged heavy into SoFi at some of these levels here. We're talking 7s, 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s, and people were chasing NVIDIA. They were chasing to the moon, and they ended up buying at very high levels. And so those 15% are underwater on this company. So just a little bit of an idea, just a little bit of perspective on this average cost analysis, and of course the percentage of breakdown of shares that are above or below the average cost basis. Now coming over to the technicals, Palantir, as you can see, this right here was the important level of resistance that we were talking about, getting rejected here very, very aggressively at $82. Lots of sellers stepping in. This is not the best candle. This is not the candle that I wanted to see. However, there was some, of course, there was a lot of momentum intraday. So if you come over to the 5-minute chart, what you'll notice is, of course, we gapped up a little bit. We rallied all the way up to as much as $82, and then the sellers basically stepped in, and we sold off over 4% intraday. That is a lot of weakness for SoFi, and of course the candle itself looks pretty scary from that level of supply. There's a lot of supply, there's a lot of resistance sitting there. Support level is going to stay put right here at $70, and that's the level that I'll be watching going into earnings as well. Speaking of Tesla, continues to get rejected at 430, and that was one of the reasons why I mentioned this time and time again in my previous updates, to be careful with Tesla here. 430 is a resistance, 430 is a supply. There's a lot of sellers sitting at those levels, got rejected, very similar to what we just witnessed for Palantir. Lots of sellers stepping in here, sold us back down to 420. This right here, once again, selling off, 3 consistent red days in a row, and Tesla continues, actually four red days in a row for Tesla, and it continues to struggle at 430. So next support is going to be down here at 375. Now coming over to SoFi. Now SoFi is a setup for, it is overbought, right? So we've got earnings coming up in 2 days. Like I said, I will be doing a more dedicated video on SoFi very soon. RSI, MACD, L3 banker oscillator, a little bit more overextended, especially if you look at the 4-hour chart. We are certainly overbought right now. And so right now we're consolidating sideways. Support level is going to stay put at $17, $18 for SoFi at the moment. So $17.21, and we've got a resistance sitting roughly at $18, and we'll see what happens after earnings. We've already hit our target of $18, but of course, if we do get a nice little breakout, next target's going to be in the $22 to $27 range for SoFi moving forward. Last but not least, we've got NVIDIA, and NVIDIA also struggling quite a bit. So you can see that on the 4-hour chart and on the daily chart, pretty brutal red candle coming in to fill this entire gap in. This entire candle overshadows the last couple green days. And so that basically tells us how brutal the selling pressure was. And so we've got Tesla, we got Palantir, and we've got NVDA. All three, in terms of a price action standpoint, they don't look strong. They look pretty weak from a price action standpoint. There's a lot of selling pressure. And so for that reason, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious for these companies. I might end up selling puts on NVIDIA, might even sell some puts on Palantir if it is actually lower, back down in the 17s per se, or maybe in the under 70. I will be looking at selling puts once again to take advantage of that premium and of course run the wheel strategy on that as well. But for NVIDIA, keep a close eye at 136 down to 133. Those are going to be some support levels to watch, and right now we're still consolidating sideways in that range for NVIDIA. So hope you all enjoyed this video and a complete update on these 4 fan favorites. Make sure that you drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to join our Discord and our Patreon with that additional 20% discount that will get you everything, including all the trade alerts, options portfolio, long-term portfolio updates, Discord access, members only videos, MoneyVest website only for $19 a month for a limited time. And so link's going to be down below if you're interested in joining. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.